Good morning. I'm Nandini and I'm back with my videos. Today I'm going to speak about something which all of us love to talk about, that is responsibility. It's so important responsibility that we be perceived as responsible people. But at the same time, there are times when responsibility appears as a burden on us. So why is this? So let us look at responsibility at a deeper level. See, we are at any point of time taking up responsibility for our children's education, for running the household, or for delivering our job responsibilities at work, or delivering results on a business, or running the household. We are taking up responsibilities for a million things in our lifetime, and we are doing that automatically in the autopilot mode. But even then, this appears as a monster sometimes. No, I want to demystify that. I want you to understand what it really makes, what it really means to take up responsibility. you know Even in my life, many times I felt responsible for doing something. I've done it and I've enjoyed it. I have been very proud of it, spoken to people, and I have loved it. But there are times also when I have done things because I was told to do those things. I did not think I am responsible, because in my mind I kept on telling that I am not responsible for this. I am not responsible for this. I kept on telling that in my mind. So that was when I have not really got good results of being responsible for that particular um, action. What does it really mean to take up responsibilities? What we will talk about. First thing, never, 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 never blame anybody else or any other external circumstance for the kind of person you are being, for the kind of uh, actions you are taking, or for the kind of experiences that you are having, or getting others to experience because of your actions, or even for the kind of feelings that you are having within you, or even making others feel. There can never be an external circumstance or another person who can make you feel responsible for the way you are, for the kind of actions you take, for the kind of experience you have, or even for the kind of feelings that you have within you in that moment. You and you alone are responsible for that. Now, while I'm saying that you alone are responsible, that many of you may agree, because you know that you are responsible for the person you are, for the actions you take, for the things you experience, and for the things you feel or make others feel. Many of you know that you are responsible. But the pitfall here is, like, you tend to blame yourself. Why should I say you? It's also me many times. When I'm aware that I alone am responsible for what is happening in my life, I start blaming myself. I start beating myself. I start berating myself. I start saying, "Arey, I should not have done this. Because of I did this, this happened, and because of that we are suffering. Because I said this, this happened, and because of that the person is not talking to me." I many times tend to blame myself, which many of you will also realize, that when you take up responsibility, complete responsibility of your actions, you also tend to blame yourself. Do not blame yourself too. You don't blame another person, you don't blame another circumstance, you don't blame yourself too. But That's not easy. Not, but you need somebody to blame for what's happening, right? No. We will discover how it is. The third thing that you have to be very, very aware of is when and where you are taking responsibility or not taking responsibility. That awareness comes with when you start looking into yourself, when you start connecting to yourself. When you connect to yourself, you understand what is your responsibility, what is not your responsibility. And when you understand that, you have the choice to take up that responsibility or not take up that responsibility. If you take up that responsibility, you take it up completely. And when you are not taking up that responsibility, you go and tell the people concerned that, look, right now I am not ready for this responsibility and I don't want to take it up. So people do not have expectations from you, and you do not have to fulfill any expectations of anybody. So this reduces the communication gap that may take place as a result of not having clarity as to what is your responsibility or what is not your responsibility. Then there is another thing which you really, really, really need to deal with many times is that little voice in your head, that chitter chatter, that little voice that keeps on telling you that this is not my responsibility. I am not responsible for this. Or if that person is not performing, it is my responsibility. We have both ways. We also tend to take on non-performance of other people as our responsibility. Also, we tend to attribute our non-performance into somebody else's responsibility. So, it is very important for you to be aware of what is your responsibility and what is not your responsibility. So once you are aware of how much you are taking, how much you are not taking, you can make that choice. And once you are aware of what is your responsibility and what is not your responsibility, you can also make your choice. And the fifth thing that I want to say is being aware of the payoffs that are keeping you stuck. When you have to, when you really need clarity in what is your responsibility and what is not, it is a very good exercise to take a sheet of pen and paper and write out on two columns what you think is your responsibility, what you think is not your responsibility, what you think, and then go through that list and say, where are you doing beyond your responsibility and where are you falling short of your responsibility? That will give you clarity. And once you get clarity, you will be able to somewhat see you are stuck somewhere. That is why you are not able to move forward. The moment you see that, you get that clarity and you can identify why you are stuck, wherever you are stuck, you can actually start seeing, you will start getting those excuses, you will start getting those reasons that your mind will keep telling you why you do not want to take up that responsibility. There is something that is stopping you. For instance, um, um, I am a very offline kind of a person. I like interaction face to face. Interaction online is not really what I'm very comfortable with. But when I decided to come onto the online space, it took me a long time to come onto the online space because there was something that was stopping me from coming online. It was not fear of facing the camera. I was confident. I knew my subject well, and I had my own life experiences to share. I had a lot of case studies also. I have, but there was something that was stopping me from actually coming out and speaking in front of the camera. That is when I started seeing what is the payoff that I may have to face when I come in front of the camera. I realized that I was somewhere concerned about bringing my life into the public. Not for myself, but for the people who still live with me. I addressed that concern. Then I was concerned about what people will think. For so many years, I have been a perfectionist, delivering perfectly. And if online I do not deliver perfectly, it doesn't work. What will people say? I have an image to keep up. That is when I went flat. Online is a new experience. I am not supposed to be the perfect person. That's a learning experience for me. So let me enjoy it. That's when I started flattening off all my payoffs and I started coming online and started delivering in the digital form. So that is also, where you have to realize that what do you have at stake to be able to take up responsibility, or what do you have at stake that is preventing you, what are your fears, what are your concerns, what are your anxieties that is preventing you from taking that leap of faith. So that's also something you need to really look into. Now all of that is fine, but it's not about just doing, taking actions, doing some things, doing everything that is possible to make your action a success, or to get the desired result. It's not about that. It's also about figuring out exactly what you want and act accordingly to the desired result. It's not about doing 10 things together. It's about doing 10 things all leading in the same direction to derive the desired results that you want. That is very, very important when it comes to really taking up responsibility. Many times also you will feel that when you take up responsibilities, there are 10 different choices you get. Array, this is also there, this is also there, this is also there, this is also there, this is also there. There are so many choices that you get. What do you do? You also get confused so many times. Then you try out one, it doesn't work. Then you try out three, it doesn't work. Then you say one and three is not working. Then let me try out seven. Maybe it works a little more. No, no, we don't do anything of that. We need, for the desired results, we need to be focused. No matter what choices we have, we need to be focused on the goal that we are up to. Now, how do you get yourself to focus on something when there are 10 different things and you have not experienced it? You need to be aware of the pros and cons in each of the choice. Sit down, make a list of all the choices, make a list of what are the pros and cons. And then when you have all the pros and cons written in front of you, you will have a greater clarity as to which path to take, and then you can own up, you can completely own up that responsibility of moving towards that goal, and you can completely own up the consequences that arise out of the actions that you take to move towards the goal. Every time your actions may not give uh, mm, uh, successful results. There are times when your results may not be successful or not as successful as you want to. But what you need is owning up. Okay, this did not work. Let me see. What else can I put into this to make it work? So it's a constant journey of discovering, providing value, evolving, growing, and reaching. That journey is what makes that success so much more meaningful. That that act of owning up that responsibility completely is what makes that success really worthwhile and really worth giving value to other people and to the people around you. So then that is where you become an expert in achieving that success. And anybody who comes to you to achieve the kind of success you have achieved, you can always share your knowledge, your experience with them, and make your own life as fruitful as you bring value into others' lives. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with me to hear me out what it really means to take up responsibility. This is Nandini Rao signing off, grandmom to a 4-year-old, mother to a lovely daughter, married to an awesome man, founder of Growth Clarity Hub, a second innings entrepreneur. uh, I am also a growth clarity expert on a mission to enable, transform the life of 10,000 people, live a happy, satisfied, fulfilled, and balanced life within the next 1 year. Thank you very much. This is Nandini Rao signing off. See you till my next video. Bye bye.